Hey guys, it's Katie, and I got a lot of questions on my other video, and so I'm gonna do another video where I answer questions. So here we go. I know it's not really my day, but this was kind of the only free time that I had to do it. It's been a busy week, so here are the questions for this week. Do you share all your vision tools with your brother? I share some of them with my brother, but most of them we each have our own. And a lot of my brother's vision tools, I hate to say this, are hand-me-downs, which I guess isn't a bad thing. But like the old CCTV that I showed you in my last video is actually his now. I gave it to him after I got the flipper, and he always thought that CCTV was really cool. Especially when he was little and stuff. I never really let him touch it when he was little, just because, you never know with a little kid. And to me, that was huge that I got the Aladdin, which that's what my old CCTV is called. It was a funny story. Somebody that I used to know from elementary school, I think I was in like 7th grade at the time, their grandfather had passed away, and it was their grandfather's, and they knew that I had low vision, and they sold it to me. Well, sold it to my family. And so it was really cool because I never ever had anything like that. Because like I said, I never got any vision services until about my sophomore year in high school. So that was really cool. It was things that I had always seen and heard about, but I'd never had one myself. So I was really protective over it. But now it's my brother's, because I have the flipper, and I don't really use that anymore, because actually the light, I always kind of had a hard time reading with that CCTV, because and I never knew why. But then I was doing my homework one day, and I realized that the light was really bothering my eyes that was coming from under the thing where you put the book, and so I made a little curtain for it, and that actually helped quite a lot. But now I hardly ever use that CCTV, so it's pretty much just my brother's. As far as my other vision tools, they're all kind of my own. I have that dome magnifier that I showed you, and all those monoculars that I showed you, and my bioptic and everything. Of course, anything that's prescription, we have our own. But those are all my own, and he has his own little things. He has my old monocular, and he has his own dome magnifier. Honestly, he doesn't really use as many vision tools as I do, which kind of goes into my next question. How does your brother's vision compare to yours? My brother's vision is like way better than mine, because like I said, I have an additional visual impairment because I was born premature. So my brother, who doesn't have that, he only has the albinism. His vision is around 20/200, and I think it can even be corrected to like 20/150. So it's pretty good, and he doesn't have the field loss either. And it's really funny because he always talks about how his vision is so much better than mine. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, Katie, I'll take care of you, like, I have really good eyes," and things like that, and it's really funny. So yeah, his vision is better than mine by a long shot. But sometimes he's kind of mean about it, because he'll just be like, he'll ask me a lot, like, "Why do you need your cane? I don't think you need that," and things like that. And I try to tell him all the time, like, my vision is different from yours. You might not think that you need that, but I feel like I do, but he's 10, he's a little brat anyway. But no, I love the kid. Let's see, next question. Have you ever had to deal with bullying? Yes, I have. I'm pretty sure all people with albinism have, to a degree, but I did have to deal with bullying a lot. It started around 1st or 2nd grade, I think, and it was just, kids being kids, like asking, "Why do your eyes move?" And they would, and I didn't know at the time that I was any different, really. I mean, I knew that I had to sit closer to the board than everybody else, but I didn't know why. I didn't really, I was a kid. I didn't really pay very much attention. I didn't connect the dots. So I was like, my eyes don't move. What are you talking about? And everyone, of course, was just like, yeah, they move. Why are they moving? And this one girl was like a pest about it, and she just kept asking every single time she saw me, like over and over and over, why do your eyes move? Why do your eyes move? And I just got so upset. She kind of got other people to gang up against me, and, you know, they would start asking, and it was just something that I felt like I was kind of being harassed about. So, of course, I would go home and I would be upset, and I would ask my parents or my grandparents or my aunt, like, do my eyes really move? You know, because I didn't understand that they did. And they were like, yes, they do. You know, they were really nice about it. And so me and my aunt, we kind of came up with this thing. Anytime somebody would ask me why my eyes moved, I would tell them that I had heat vision. So that's how I dealt with that when I was little. And of course it progressed in as I got older in middle school and such. In about 5th grade, I had a really bad encounter that really sticks out in my mind. And you know, 5th grade is kind of a time like 10, 11, 12, where you're just, that's like the phase where you go through where you're really catty with your friends, especially for girls. I was really catty when I was like 11 with all of my friends, and this one time I was, you know, in a fight with one of my friends, and she came, we had lockers at the time. She came up to my locker, and, you know, and I think it was probably about boys or something like that, but she had come up to my locker and leaned up against it, and she said, so Katie, these 2 boys said that they would never date an albino like you. And she used the B word. And, you know, of course, when you're like 11, that's like the worst. But I had never been called an albino as derogatory. You know, I hardly even knew what that really meant. And I just walked away, and I was crying and crying and crying. And, of course, all my other friends were so mad, and they came, like, to my side, and they were really nice about it. But, you know, I was just crying, and it was horrible. I had never felt so attacked and so manipulated and just so taken advantage of. It was horrible, and I just remember, like, getting that feeling in my stomach, that feeling like you're dropping, or, you know, like you're dropping in a roller coaster. And I think somebody told the principal, I'm not sure if I did or one of my friends did, but somebody told the principal, and, you know, the principal handled it. He was really upset about it. And then in about 6th grade, the same girl kind of did the same thing a little bit, and we were kind of in a fight, and like, she was defending herself, and she's like, well, you're not going to be cool in high school because I heard that you can't drive. And, you know, that made me really upset. But it really didn't get me as hard as the other thing did. But then I kind of really started thinking about my future and about, like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, I'm not going to be able to be a normal teenager. And so that really did affect me when I was 13 and 14, and even 15. You know, everybody on here is saying that I'm really inspiring, which, thank you so much. That is so awesome. And, you know, thanks for saying that. That means a lot to me. But I wasn't always as positive as I am now about my albinism. I used to absolutely hate it. I used to dye my hair, you know, so it was darker. I used to wear super heavy makeup. And I used to just not be open to any vision help at all. I wouldn't use any of my tools, and, you know, obviously my grades were suffering because of it. My self-esteem was so low because of that, because of all the bullying. And those were just like 2 or 3 of the things that really stick out in my mind. But when I moved into 7th grade and 8th grade, it got worse, and, you know, people would tease me a lot, and they would say, like, oh, you belong in a circus, and things like that. And, of course, to a 13-year-old girl, that sounds horrible, and it's like it's the end of the world when you think that you're any different from your peers. So that really affected me a lot. But now I'm 17, you know, people, of course, still say crap about it, but I'm just at that point where I don't care. I've kind of realized that, like, if they're the kind of people that say things like that about other people, why would I care about what they think anyway? You know what I mean? So I don't let it affect me at all anymore, you know? I mean, I'm so, quote-unquote, out about my vision impairment. I mean, I use my cane at school, everything. So I could care less, honestly, what people think now. But it took a really, really long time to get to that point. So that's the really long answer for that. Do you watch much TV or DVDs? Yes, I do. I actually watch most of my, like, movies and even TV shows online. I just feel like I can get, like, a lot closer to the computer, because I have a laptop and I can usually, like, position myself where the computer's really close and things like that. And I think that goes into my other questions. Yes, okay. Do you like watching TV? Somebody else asked. Can you see the TV screen? Yes. I actually use these glasses, and they're really, really cool. I'm not sure what the brand is called because it's too small written on there. I think it's German. It's called, like, Eschenbach or something like that. All German, but they're called Max TV glasses, and they totally help me see the screen. I can sit on my couch and see the TV screen from my couch. So, you know, when my family is watching a movie or something like that, I can sit with everybody else, you know, where as a kid, I just remember having to sit so close to the TV screen and feeling like I was, like, miles away from my family. But, you know, again, as my other vision tools, they're not the most attractive things on the planet, but they help me quite a lot. It's either seeing the TV screen or not seeing the TV screen. I kind of look like a mad scientist in them. That's what I tell all of my friends. But here they are. And you focus them with these little knobs on the side. And, yeah, you can see the TV screen that way. You know, again, they're not beautiful, but who's looking at you when everyone's watching TV anyway? And also my brother has a pair. That's why there's, like, I think maybe you saw the dots right here on my case. My brother has a pair, and that's to distinguish the difference. This is mine, and these are my brother's, and I made him this little keychain thing so we could tell the difference between our TV glasses. But, yeah, that's how I watch TV. Okay, and then there's one more question about my brother. Is he as positive as you are? You know, I tried to teach him about albinism when he was young because that was one problem. I felt like I didn't really get a straight talk about you're different than other people, and when I did, it didn't feel positive, and I just felt like I was further confused, you know, and that's not my parents' fault. It's just like, I guess they didn't know how to tell me, they didn't know when to tell me, but I kind of took it upon myself to tell my brother that about his albinism and to inform him about it. When he was in the first grade, I had to talk with him about it, and you know, and I showed him all of these pictures from NOAA, from the magazines. I showed him this book called Real Lives, which is awesome. Anybody in the albinism community should invest in it. You can find it online. And, you know, I showed him this other book that I got at a NOAA conference. It's about children with visual impairments and how, you know, different people's eyes work differently. I forget what it's called, but it's a really good book. I read that to him. And I told him about his albinism, basically. And I tried to be as positive as I could be about it because I didn't want him to go through what I went through when I was a kid, which was just feeling like completely different and kind of isolating myself from everybody else and just feeling really negatively towards my albinism. I wanted to avoid that for him as much as I could. You know, I wanted to protect him and stuff like that from that. But, so yeah, that's what I tried to do. He was really positive about it for a long time. He was actually kind of too positive about it. He would, like, tell people in the In like the line at the grocery store, he would say, "I have albinism," and it was funny, but it was a lot better than my outlook was at his age. Now he's kind of less positive about it, which makes me sad, but I have to realize that it's not my fault, and I did all I could, but I think it's just something that kids go through inevitably. Is a little negative phase about it. Sometimes he says, "Oh, I don't have albinism," or like, "Albinism isn't cool, Katie," or things like that. But I think, sometimes I think he just says that to bug me. But, yeah. So hopefully he'll go through an easier time than I did. And who knows, I think different genders, it's different for a boy and a girl, so I guess we'll see. Next question. Do many customers or co-workers at Marshall's ask you about them? I'm pretty sure she's referring to my Bioptics. And yeah, they do. Especially when I first started working there, a lot of my coworkers asked me about them. And I just basically explain them as a little telescope that's mounted on my glasses, because that's pretty much what it is. Obviously, I don't let them put them on or anything like that, but and some customers do ask me about them. It's kind of funny. Like, this one guy was like, "That's a cool telescope you got there." And, they make, like, jokes about it, because I don't think they know what they are, and they know why I'm wearing them. But, so I just explain my Bioptics like I explain anything else. Let's see. Are people curious? Yes, they are. Like I said, I got a lot of questions my first few weeks at work. But I think, again, that's inevitable. When I come in with a white cane and I can obviously see a little bit. Do you wear a vision impaired badge so people know you have low vision? I have one of those on my backpack. It says I'm a VIP and in parentheses visually impaired person. But I always carry a white cane. So, again, I think it's pretty obvious that I have low vision. So no, I don't wear that all the time, but at school, it's on my backpack. And again, thank you guys so much for all the nice comments and everything, and keep asking away. I love doing these videos, and I'm so excited about the channel. And one last thing before I go, Destiny mentioned that she might be leaving, and she can't, because she started the channel, and she's awesome. I love watching her videos. So Destiny, if you're watching this, stay with the channel, please, because we need you. It wouldn't be complete without you, and it'd be really sad if you left. So that's all I gotta say. But I'll do a video a little bit later, and I guess I'll see you guys soon. Again, keep asking away. Bye, guys.